Our top story now, Union Minister Narayan Rane was arrested on Tuesday over his comment on slapping Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray for what he called his ignorance of the year India won independence. He was then granted bail hours later after he cited his health and argued that he was arrested without proper notice or politically motivated charges. Mr. Rane tweeted Satyamev Jayate after he got bail. The Union Minister's lawyer said he'll have to appear now before the police on August 31st and September 13th.
सर, अगर आप बता सकें आज अदालत में क्या कुछ हुआ, आप लोगों ने क्या दलीलें दी, सब उसके बारे में।
अदालत में आज पुलिस की तरफ से उनको रिमांड में प्रोड्यूस किया गया। पुलिस की तरफ से 7 दिन की पुलिस कस्टडी की मांग की थी, उसके ऊपर हमने अपोज किया। उसके ऊपर बहस होके अदालत ने ऐसे कहा कि पुलिस कस्टडी की ज़रूरत नहीं है और उनको जुडिशियल कस्टडी की ऑर्डर की। उसके बाद उनकी तरफ से जामीन बेल की एप्लीकेशन, उसके ऊपर बहस हो गई और 15,000 की जमानत पे उनकी रिहाई हो गई।
क्या कुछ शर्तें रखी गई हैं?
शर्तें बेसिक जो नॉर्मल बेल की होती है वो, और उन्होंने कहा है कि 13 तारीख और 30 तारीख को एसपी अलीबाग के सामने हाजिरी लगाए और अगर ऑफिसर को लगे कि उनकी वॉइस सैंपल की ज़रूरत है तो उनको 7 दिन की नोटिस देके उनका वॉइस सैंपल दिया जाए।
क्या ये भी हुआ कि पुलिस की ओर से जो पेश की गई थी, जो दस्तावेज जरूरी थे वो नहीं दिए गए?
नहीं, ऐसी कुछ बात नहीं हुई। केस डायरी बराबर मेंटेन नहीं की, ऐसा अदालत ने प्राइमा फेसी उनको होल्ड किया है, लेकिन बाकी इसके अलावा कुछ बात नहीं।
क्या इसके अलावा जो और भी कई जगहों पर जो मामले दर्ज हैं
उनके डिटेल्स हम लेके उनके खिलाफ हाईकोर्ट में कार्रवाई करेंगे।
बिल्कुल। तो कहीं ना कहीं नारायण राणे को यहाँ से बेल ज़रूर मिली है और इसके बाद आगे क्या कुछ होगा उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई देखेंगे वो, लेकिन ज़रूर जिस तरह से शर्त रखे गए हैं कि इस महीने के 30 तारीख को, अगले महीने के 13 तारीख को उन्हें पेश होना पड़ेगा एसपी अलीबाग के सामने, और उसके अलावा अगर वॉइस सैंपल चाहिए तो 1 हफ्ते पहले उन्हें नोटिस दी जाएगी और 15,000 के मुचलके पर उन्हें जमानत दी जा रही है।
Well, let's go across to Saurabh now for more. So, Saurabh, it was an eventful day yesterday, lots of drama, and finally, Narayan Rane getting bail late night.
Absolutely, almost close to midnight is when he got, bail. He was there, he walked out, and then, tweeted that cryptic message, but very loaded, which is Satyamev Jayate. And obviously, this is a political battle. More than what Mr. Rane said, or whether he deserved to be arrested or not, or whether Mr. Thackeray was right in referring to his aides or not about, the date. But all of that is, sort of minutiae in this, because at the end of the day, what's playing out in all of this is a political battle that's only going to get perhaps even more bitter with Mr. Rane being entrusted by the BJP to take on the Shiv Sena, and the Shiv Sena that already shares a fraught relationship with Mr. Rane, also upping the ante, its aggression, showing Mr. Rane that, comments that like that won't take lying down. Now, obviously, the question for the Sena is that, and the dilemma for the Sena is that they are also in power. So when they have to protest or when there are clashes like these, their party, of course, is also responsible for a law and order situation, while it's also responsible for the law and order situation while being in government. The other thing, of course, is that, this, of course, is going to not end here, because Mr. Rane is, of course, going to continue his rally. Whether he'll be more circumspect in the way he, speaks, or whether or what words he chooses to use, it remains to be seen. But clearly, with civic body elections coming up in Maharashtra, with the animosity between the two parties increasing, with the political temperatures in Maharashtra soaring, one can expect that this is not the last we've seen of this entire episode.
All right, Saurabh, thanks so much for joining us with all those details and all the developments that have taken place. Well, let's now go across to our guests. We're joined by Ashutosh Srivastav, advocate Supreme Court, somebody who supports Narayan Rane, and Anand Dubey, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Anand Dubey साहब, पहले आपसे शुरू करते हैं। ये जो कल जो सब हुआ था, all this dramatic episode, violence also by the Shiv Sena, finally Narayan Rane getting bail. Many have criticized the Shiv Sena.
नमस्ते, गुड मॉर्निंग। मैडम, सबसे पहले बता दूं कि हम दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र हैं, इसका हमें बहुत ही गौरव है, बहुत ही अभिमान है। आपने सुना होगा कि पहले पंडित नेहरू जी और अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी के बीच में मतभेद होते थे, लेकिन कभी मनभेद नहीं हुआ। आपने सुना होगा कि आदरणीय इंदिरा जी और चंद्रशेखर जी के बीच में मतभेद होते थे, कभी मनभेद नहीं हुआ। आदरणीय शरद पवार जी और आदरणीय बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के मतभेद थे, मनभेद नहीं था। विलासराव देशमुख जी और गोपीनाथ मुंडे जी की खूब तलखी होती थी, लेकिन कभी मनभेद नहीं था। ये पहले ऐसे व्यक्ति हैं जो 1.5 से 2 दशक से एक ही पार्टी, एक ही परिवार के पीछे पड़े हैं। बार बार उनको गालियां देते हैं, कभी अपशगुन कहते हैं, कभी कहते हैं कि हम थप्पड़ जड़ देते। तो आप देखिए कि शुरुआत कौन कर रहा है। जब आप अपनी तरफ से शुरुआत करेंगे तो शिवसेना का तो एक स्टाइल रहा है पूरे देश में। शिवसेना इसलिए जानी जाती है, हिंदुत्व का नारा लेकर चलने वाली पार्टी है और जवाब देना भी जानती
लेकिन
है।
ऐसे इस तरह से एक यूनियन मिनिस्टर को अरेस्ट करना, वो भी 20 साल बाद हुआ है कि कोई यूनियन मिनिस्टर इस तरह से अरेस्ट हुआ है
पूरे भारत में। मैडम आपको बता दूं,
उनको
केवल
वैसे
2
भी रात
व्यक्ति
को
इससे
बेल मिल ही गई है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से अरेस्ट किया गया, और उनकी गिवन दैट वो यूनियन मिनिस्टर थे और हेल्थ की वजह से उनको बेल भी मिल गई थी रात को। उन्होंने फिर ट्वीट किया सत्यमेव जयते।
गर्गी मैम, पूरे भारत में 2 ही व्यक्ति इससे छूटे हुए हैं, एक महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी और एक राज्यपाल जी। बाकी कोई भी कितना भी बड़ा व्यक्ति हो, आपको कानून के दायरे में ही रहना होगा। आप कानून का उल्लंघन करेंगे तो डॉक्टर बाबा साहब आंबेडकर द्वारा लिखा गया संविधान आपको सजा देने का काम करेगा। यह एक कानूनी प्रक्रिया है। साइबर सेल अगर केस करता है तो जरूरी स्वाभाविक सी बात है कि आपको कोर्ट में पेश होना होगा और उसके बाद आपको जमानत मिलेगी या कोर्ट की अगली प्रक्रिया क्या होगी उससे गुजरना होगा। तो मैं नहीं समझता कि इसमें किसी ने कोई जानबूझकर आपको परेशान करने की बात कही है। ये पूरी दुनिया ने देखा है। यदि यही मामला आदरणीय प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी के बारे में कहा गया होता तो अब तक तो देशद्रोह लगा के उसे अंदर डाल दिया गया होता। आप देखिए ना, दोनों की तुलना करिए। अगर प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय है तो किसी भी राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री भी आदरणीय होते हैं। मैं तो कहता हूं हर एक आम आदमी भी आदरणीय है। किसी व्यक्ति
जी, हम आशुतोष जी से पूछते हैं। आशुतोष श्रीवास्तव, योर कमेंट्स ऑन these developments yesterday, finally Narayan Rane getting bail.
Yes, I think it was an unfortunate incident which took place. Obviously, nobody will support what he said, but at the same time, the actions which were taken by the investigating agency, the police officers, I find that was not required, because the allegations as put on him was not that serious, which required his immediate arrest the way he was arrested. So I think the police have misused their powers to a greater extent, and he was also not served any notice as per section 41 of Criminal Procedure Code to appear before the police station and make a statement. Had he failed to appear before the police station while giving any such a statement or to non-cooperate with the police investigating agency, then the police could have taken such kind of a stringent action. So I think the police should not get influenced by the political vendetta in the country, and they should perform. But more and more
we're seeing this happen, given in different states, or even central, the government's really controlling the police, and a lot of these sort of actions which are then questioned by many.
Yes, because nowadays we find so many of cases are being filed before different high courts where the petitioners are filing for the illegal detention, or maybe the atrocities by the police, or maybe misuse of powers by them. Even we have heard recently by the Honorable Chief Justice of this country stating and making such a statement that the investigating agencies, the police officers, they should not misuse their powers, and there should not be any atrocities exerted by them on the common people.
Mr. Dubey, Dubey साहब, ये पुलिस का मिसयूज था। आपने ऐसे एक यूनियन मिनिस्टर को जो अरेस्ट किया है, और आगे, और ये जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर महाराष्ट्र का है वो आपकी सरकार के अंडर ही है। तो ये जो वायलेंस हो रहा है, तोड़फोड़ हो रहा है, स्टोन पेल्टिंग हो रहा है, उसके बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे?
महाविकास आघाड़ी सरकार कोई भी पुलिस का मिसयूज नहीं करती। यह केंद्र सरकार का अधिकार है, वो यूज करती रहती है। आपने देखा होगा पिछले साल सुशांत सिंह के केस में जब मुंबई पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही थी तो किस प्रकार सीबीआई को बीच में डाल के और कितनी फजीहत की गई थी सरकार की। और आज 1 साल से ज्यादा का वक्त बीत गया, सीबीआई ये कहने को तैयार नहीं कि इस केस में क्या हुआ, हमने क्या जांच किया। तो ये सरकारें अपने सहूलियत के हिसाब से बदलती हैं। आज केंद्रीय मंत्री को थोड़ा सा तकलीफ हुई है तो पूरी केंद्र सरकार राज्य सरकार के ऊपर हमलावर है। क्योंकि आप देखिए कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार जहां जहां नहीं है पूरे देश में उनको नीचा कैसे दिखाएं, उस सरकार को कैसे गिराएं, अपनी सरकार कैसे बनाएं, इसी में लगी रहती है। बाकी मुंबई पुलिस ने वही काम किया है, पूरे विश्व में जानी जाती है, पूरे विश्व में नंबर 1 नंबर 2 की पुलिस रही है। आप देखिए ना, हर केस को बहुत ही बारीकी से सुलझाती है। और इसमें मैं तो कहता हूं कि आदरणीय मोदी जी को इसमें बिचौली करनी चाहिए, इसमें मीडिएटिंग का काम करना चाहिए, समझाना चाहिए अपने मंत्रियों को, और भी बहुत सारे मंत्री हैं उनके, कि आप बड़बोलेपन के चक्कर में देश की जनता के युवाओं को क्या मैसेज। और रही बात कल के युवा सेना के प्रदर्शन की, तो आपको बता दूं, यदि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता कहेंगे कि यदि अपनी माँ का दूध पिए हो तो आके हमारे घर तक दिखाओ, बताइए ऐसी भाषा का आप उपयोग करोगे तो युवा सेना तो नौजवानों की पार्टी
कहना है कि ये जो म्युनिसिपल इलेक्शंस होने जा रहे हैं उससे पहले की वजह से, मतलब ये सब टेंशन बिल्ड हो रहा है उसकी वजह से
यह एक बनाया गया माहौल है। देखिए, स्वाभाविक सी बात है कि राजनीतिक पार्टियां हैं, सामाजिक पार्टियां हैं, तो चुनाव लड़ेंगी, चुनाव जीतेंगी, हारेंगी, तो चुनाव तो होने ही वाले हैं समय समय पे, इसको चुनाव से नहीं देखना चाहिए। लेकिन आप जिस पार्टी ने आपको नगर सेवक से विधायक, विधायक से मंत्री, मंत्री से मुख्यमंत्री, मुख्यमंत्री से अपोजिशन लीडर, आपको क्या नहीं बनाया, और आप एक तरफ जाके आदरणीय बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के स्मृति स्थल पे नतमस्तक होते हैं और कहते हैं कि आज मैं जो कुछ भी हूं आदरणीय बाला साहब ठाकरे जी की वजह से और शिवसेना की वजह से हूं। दूसरी तरफ आप उन्हीं के पुत्र के खिलाफ ऐसी बयानबाजी करते हो, शिवसेना के खिलाफ बयानबाजी करते हो, तो देश आपको देखता है ना कि आप कहते क्या हो, आप कहना क्या चाहते हो।
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Anand Dubey and Ashutosh Srivastava, for speaking to us here at NDTV. Well, from Maharashtra now to Punjab and the Congress crisis there. The demand for the removal of Captain Amrinder Singh from the post of Punjab Chief Minister has resurfaced after he targeted the advisors of Navjot Singh Sidhu over their comments on Pakistan and Kashmir. More than 30 MLAs of the Punjab Congress, including 4 ministers, are now seeking Mr. Singh's removal, saying they will appeal to the party's top leadership again.
31 Punjab MLAs have demanded the Chief Minister to resign. These aren't the opposition MLAs but of his own party, including 4 ministers. The group is 41% of all Congress MLAs. They met at a minister's residence and demanded Amrinder Singh's resignation, as they said they had lost confidence and he had not fulfilled promises like cancelling a controversial power purchase agreement and no arrests in a sacrilege case, all pet peeves of his rival and new state Congress chief Navjot Sidhu. Elections are now just months away.
मेरी राय है, सबकी राय ये थे को सीएम साहब को रिप्लेस होना चाहिए, नहीं तो कांग्रेस नहीं बचेगी।
तो सर कौन होगा सीएम फेस करेगा?
सोनिया गांधी साहब मिलने जा रहे हैं, इस विषय पे बात करेंगे।
The Chief Minister's camp said it had contacted the party's top leadership.
वो चार कुछ भी कहते रहे, कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह is still the most loved face in Punjab, and the entire Congress is with him, especially the High Command. What 5 stooges or 5 ministers or 5 actors says doesn't make any difference.
The Chief Minister had criticized 2 of Sidhu's new aides for controversial statements. He met sugarcane farmers a day after Sidhu raised the issue. The Chief Minister has increased the state agreed price and the farmers have lifted their road and rail blockade. But one of Sidhu's new appointees targeted the Chief Minister with this post, questioning him over a Pakistani friend of the Chief Minister, and he posted pictures questioning why the state's DGP was photographed with her. But the Captain Sidhu battle is far from settled, despite the intervention of the Gandhis themselves. With Muhammad Ghazali Usama Shab for NDTV.
And staying with news from Punjab, Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal faced the wrath of farmer unions at public rallies for a second consecutive day on Tuesday in his home district of Muktsar. As a part of the pre-election campaign, Gal Punjab Di, scheduled for 100 days, Sukhbir on Tuesday visited Girdhar, where he faced strong opposition from activists of the Samyukt Kisan Morcha. The former Deputy Chief Minister was scheduled to hold 9 public meetings, including one with SKM leaders at a resort at Doda village. However, farmer union activists demanded that the meeting between the SKM and Sukhbir be held in the presence of the media, to which the SAD leadership refused. Time for us to slip into a short break. We'll get you more news on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. 5 people were arrested in Rajasthan's Ajmer after a video which was widely shared on social media showed a man from UP and his family being assaulted and abused. In the video, which has sparked a huge anger, the accused can be seen hitting the Muslim man accompanied by 2 children and shouting at him, "Why have you come from UP? Do you see any shrine here? Why don't you go to Pakistan?" And a 25-year-old man selling bangles on the streets was beaten up by a mob in Indore for allegedly trying to hide his identity, pretending to be a Hindu when he was actually a Muslim. After outrage, a case was filed against the men who beat him, but then the bangle seller too has been accused of forgery and molestation. In fact, the Hindu Jagran Manch then carried out a march in Indore and submitted a memorandum to the police, protesting several incidents that have sparked tension.
On Sunday, 25-year-old Taslim was the victim, thrashed for allegedly trying to pass himself off as a Hindu. But 28 hours later, he had become the perpetrator of forgery and fraud and for molesting a minor girl. He was arrested on Monday evening under Section 7 and 8 of Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. A Class 6 student alleged that Taslim, who was selling bangles outside her home, had said his name was Golu Singh, and when her mother went inside the house to get money to pay for the bangles, he molested her. Taslim's lawyer feels there is more to it than meets the eye.
काउंटर केस बना के इस केस को खत्म करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। पुलिस प्रशासन ने जिसकी लिंचिंग हुई है, जिसको मारा है बीजेपी के गुंडों ने, उसके खिलाफ पॉस्को एक्ट की सेक्शन 3 के तहत एफआईआर रजिस्टर्ड कर ली है। मुझे लगता है ये संवैधानिक प्रक्रिया का, डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम का वायलेशन है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट की गाइडलाइंस का भी वायलेशन है।
मैं बता दूं कि
The State Home Minister's focus is on the multiple identity papers found on Taslim.
जो अपना 2-3 पहचान पत्र रखते हैं वो अपराधी हैं। मध्य प्रदेश में कानून का राज है, या किसी को इस तरह से सर उठाने नहीं दिया जाएगा, ना बेअमनस फैलाने दिया जाएगा।
Hindu outfits held huge protests at Regal Crossing, claiming rising incidents of crimes against Hindus in Indore.
उन्होंने बंदी उठाए हैं, लगभग सभी पे ही वैधानिक कार्रवाई की गई है और हमारा सभी से अनुरोध है कि शहर की शांति बनाए रखें और जो सांप्रदायिक सद्भाव है वो सुनिश्चित करने में सभी का सहयोग आवश्यक है।
A case was registered against Taslim on Monday evening itself, but he was not produced before the court even after 24 hours of his arrest. His lawyers are now saying that he was not produced because of security reasons. With Hemant Sharma in Indore and camera person Rizwan Khan in Bhopal, Anurag Dwari for NDTV.
Well, time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we'll get you all the latest from Afghanistan. Stay with us. Welcome back. G7 countries have released a joint statement after an emergency virtual meeting on Afghanistan. The statement reiterated that the safe evacuation of foreigners and Afghan partners remains the immediate priority. Leaders of G7 countries expressed grave concern about the situation in the country and called for calm and restraint to ensure the safety and security of vulnerable Afghan and international citizens and the prevention of a humanitarian crisis. G7 countries said that the Taliban will be held accountable for their actions on preventing terrorism, on human rights in particular, those of women, girls and of minorities. Hello and welcome. You're watching Good Morning India. I'm Gargi Rawat. Our top story, Union Minister Narayan Rane was arrested on Tuesday over his comments on slapping Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray for what he called his ignorance of the year India won independence. He was then granted bail hours later, late night, after he cited his health and argued that he was arrested without a proper notice on politically motivated charges. Mr. Rane also tweeted Satyamev Jayate after he got bail. The Union Minister's lawyer said he will have to appear before the police on August 31st and September 13th.
सर, अगर आप बता सकें आज अदालत में क्या कुछ हुआ, आप लोगों ने क्या दलीलें दी, सब उसके बारे में।
अदालत में आज पुलिस की तरफ से उनको रिमांड में प्रोड्यूस किया गया। पुलिस की तरफ से 7 दिन की पुलिस कस्टडी की मांग की थी। उसके ऊपर हमने अपोज किया, उसके ऊपर बहस होके अदालत ने ऐसे कहा कि पुलिस कस्टडी की ज़रूरत नहीं है और उनको जुडिशियल कस्टडी की ऑर्डर की। उसके बाद उनकी तरफ से जामीन बेल की एप्लीकेशन, उसके ऊपर बहस हो गई और 15,000 की जमानत पे उनकी रिहाई हो गई।
क्या कुछ शर्तें रखी गई हैं?
शर्तें बेसिक जो नॉर्मल बेल की होती है वो, और उन्होंने कहा है कि 13 तारीख और 30 तारीख को एसपी अलीबाग के सामने हाजिरी लगाए और अगर ऑफिसर को लगे कि उनकी वॉइस सैंपल की ज़रूरत है तो उनको 7 दिन की नोटिस देके उनका वॉइस सैंपल दिया जाए।
क्या ये भी हुआ कि पुलिस की ओर से जो पेश की गई थी, जो दस्तावेज जरूरी थे वो नहीं दिए गए?
नहीं, ऐसी कुछ बात नहीं हुई। केस डायरी बराबर मेंटेन नहीं की, ऐसा अदालत ने प्राइमा फेसी उनको होल्ड किया है, लेकिन बाकी इसके अलावा कुछ बात नहीं।
क्या इसके अलावा जो और भी कई जगहों पर जो मामले दर्ज हैं
उनके डिटेल्स हम लेके उनके खिलाफ हाईकोर्ट में कार्रवाई करेंगे।
बिल्कुल। तो कहीं ना कहीं नारायण राणे को यहाँ से बेल ज़रूर मिली है और इसके बाद आगे क्या कुछ होगा उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई देखेंगे वो, लेकिन ज़रूर जिस तरह से शर्त रखे गए हैं कि इस महीने के 30 तारीख को, अगले महीने के 13 तारीख को उन्हें पेश होना पड़ेगा एसपी अलीबाग के सामने, और उसके अलावा अगर वॉइस सैंपल चाहिए तो 1 हफ्ते पहले उन्हें नोटिस दी जाएगी और 15,000 के मुचलके पर उन्हें जमानत दी जा रही है।
Well, let's go across now to Sohit, who joins us from Mahar. Sohit, it was a day of dramatic developments yesterday. Finally, Narayan Rane getting bail. Where is he now, and what are his plans?
Well, Gargi, Narayan Rane returned to Mumbai late night itself. He stepped out of the court around 12:10 a.m. and around 4:30 in the morning he reached his house in Mumbai, where we saw dramatic events unfolding yesterday, where you remember the clashes that happened between the Shiv Sena and BJP workers in Juhu. He has returned over there. Yesterday I also spoke to Prasad Lad, who is the BJP MLA, and he was with Rane since throughout the day yesterday. He said that for a day or two Narayan Rane will rest and then he'll start with his yatra once again. Now remember, this yatra was the reason where this all thing happened. The yatra has been happening since 19th of August. The first day he visited Shivaji Park. Day before yesterday was the day when he gave the controversial statement regarding Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, after which he was arrested, and later we saw things unfolding, violence happening throughout the state in several places. However, as of now, what I can say is that the security has been beefed up in several places where the police thinks that there may be clashes happening between Shiv Sena as well as the Rane supporters. It would be very important to see if Narayan Rane addresses the media, because yesterday morning he said that I am not a ordinary man. How can you say that they will be arresting me? But after he was arrested, nothing happened, and later at night when he left, he did not speak to the media. So it would be very important to see, because it was a very big thing that a union minister was arrested and kept in, was arrested, and he was there with the police until midnight, after which only he was released. And another thing that we need to say is that Mahar was not the only one FIR that has been registered against him. There is Nashik, there is Thane, there is Pune. So there are FIRs registered in 3 different places as well. Now, when I asked his lawyer yesterday, he said that we will be going to the High Court and quashing all these FIRs. So today a hearing will happen in Bombay High Court as well, where these FIRs will also come in place, and we will also be waiting to see if Narayan Rane responds, because yesterday he just tweeted Satyamev Jayate. Apart from that, nothing is happening from his side, and we also need to see that whether police will take action against the Shiv Sena workers who were seen attacking the BJP offices in several places where we saw clashes happening between BJP and Shiv Sena. So these are the things that are happening right now. Very important to see that what does Narayan Rane do next. Will he continue to attack Shiv Sena as he has been doing, or will he calm down and try not to indulge with Shiv Sena and continue with his yatra? Because even today the Samna's editorial, the mouthpiece of Shiv Sena, they attacked Narayan Rane and said that how can you say this to a chief minister of the state, and they also questioned that why does the Modi government have him who does not even know how to speak to the chief minister. These are the things that they have written. So while Shiv Sena continues with its attack on Narayan Rane, what does Narayan Rane do next? That will be important to see, because it also will impact the law and order throughout the state. While the security has been beefed up, everyone is waiting to see that what will happen next. Will Narayan Rane speak to the media like he did yesterday? Obviously, as of now, stay quiet and stay away from the picture.
All right, thanks so much, Sohit, for joining us with all those developments. Narayan Rane back in Mumbai. Well, let's now go across to our guest. We're joined by Sanjay Gupta, leader Shiv Sena, Abhishek Tripathi, leader BJP. Sanjay Gupta, first to you. These dramatic developments yesterday. for the first time in 20 years, a union minister arrested in this manner while he was having a meal. What would you say to the criticism that, the Shiv Sena is misusing the police?
देखिए, जिस तरह की अभद्र भाषा का इस्तेमाल करने के बाद और फिर जिस तरह से जेल से बाहर आने के बाद उन्होंने कहा सत्यमेव जयते, मतलब आपने एक तो गलत बयान दिया और उसके बाद आपने उसके लिए माफी भी नहीं मांगी और आप कहते हैं सत्यमेव जयते। मैं ना आपको एक बात बिल्कुल क्लियर करना चाहूंगा, इससे साफ प्रतीत होता है कि मिस्टर नारायण राणे साहब ने ये बात बिल्कुल सोचते और समझते हुए बयान दिया था ठाकरे साहब के खिलाफ, क्योंकि जिस तरह से बीजेपी और शिवसेना के रिश्तों में जो तलखियत थी वो खत्म हो रही थी एक तरह से। जब से प्रताप सरनायक जी ने चिट्ठी लिखी शिवसेना प्रमुख उद्धव साहब को कि शिवसेना को बीजेपी के साथ अपने रिश्ते अच्छे करने चाहिए, उसके बाद जिस तरह से उद्धव साहब प्रधानमंत्री साहब से मिले और फिर उनके बाद आने के बाद उन्होंने कहा कि हमारे राजनीतिक रास्ते जरूर अलग हुए हैं मगर हमारे आपसी संबंध आज भी हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि नारायण राणे साहब को बिल्कुल खटकता होगा कि बीजेपी के और शिवसेना के जो आपसी रिश्ते हैं अभी भी वो ना रहे, और इसी सोची समझी चाल के तहत उन्होंने सोचते समझते हुए ही इस बयान को दिया है, क्योंकि नारायण राणे साहब को शायद इस बात से सबसे ज्यादा फायदा होगा और इसी बात को सोचते समझते हुए उन्होंने ये बयान दिया है। तो एक तरफ तो आप अभद्र बयान दे रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ आप कह रहे हैं सत्यमेव जयते, माफी आप मांग नहीं रहे, तो ये जिस तरह की राजनीति नारायण राणे साहब ने की है, मेरे को लगता है कि बीजेपी के बड़े लीडरांस को इस बात को समझते हुए नारायण राणे साहब के खिलाफ कठोर एक्शन लेना चाहिए, ताकि हमारी देश के अंदर जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं उनके बीच आपसी मतभेद तो हो, नीति के विरुद्ध अनीति के विरुद्ध मतभेद तो हो, मगर आपसी दुश्मनियां ना हो। ये जिस तरह से दुश्मनी करने का काम जो नारायण राणे साहब ने किया है ये बहुत गलत है, और जिस भी स्टेट के अंदर जहां बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं है, मतलब अगर आप कोई भी दूसरा नेता आप इस तरह,
लेकिन जो नारायण राणे और ठाकरे के बीच में ये जो मतभेद रहा है ये तो काफी टाइम से चल रहा है, इसी वजह से तो उन्होंने शिवसेना छोड़ी थी।
मान लिया कि उन्होंने इसी वजह से शिवसेना छोड़ी थी, लेकिन इस उपद्रव के पीछे, इस स्टेटमेंट के पीछे ये मंशा भी हो सकती है कि जो रिश्ता शिवसेना और बीजेपी का गठबंधन से अलग होने के बाद जिस तरह से थोड़ी नजदीकी बढ़ रही थी, इस नजदीकी को भी नारायण राणे साहब को पसंद नहीं आ रही थी।
Alright, मैं अभिषेक त्रिपाठी साहब से भी पूछती हूँ। अभिषेक त्रिपाठी, your reaction to what Mr. Sanjay Gupta is also saying and all that took place yesterday.
My reaction is very simple. I mean, I don't understand why they are making mountain out of mole. It was just a comment and a statement. Can you imagine? If somebody tells me, Abhishek, I will slap you, I'll ignore the person. I will not set my people to burn the city, to break the offices, to literally physically, they have hit our corporators who are sitting corporators very badly. They have beaten them. So if somebody has made a statement, that doesn't mean you will create a ruckus out of it. Imagine the kind of losses that people are facing since yesterday. There is so much of threat perception to ordinary people venturing out on the road that I have seen literally yesterday on the road. So I don't understand why there is so much of such level of problem just by one statement. Why can't you have the the audacity to ignore it? When Mr. Sanjay Raut was literally abusing a lead actress and breaking her office last year, then where was Shiv Sena? Where were the people? Nothing has happened. I mean, just somebody saying just one line of a slap doesn't mean it's literally happening. Right, I don't understand why this kind of violence. ये संजय गुप्ता जी इस लेवल का वायलेंस क्यों हो रहा है? अगर आप मेरे को संजय गुप्ता जी आज टीवी पे बोल दें कि अभिषेक त्रिपाठी मैं आपको एक थप्पड़ मारूंगा, तो मैं थोड़ा सा स्माइल करूंगा और आगे बढ़ जाऊंगा, क्योंकि मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि मेरे सारे लोग चले जाएं, आप स्टूडियो से निकलो या घर से निकलो और आपको घेर लें। ये तो ये कोई मैच नहीं है, ये किसी तरीके का कोई मैच नहीं है संजय गुप्ता जी कि सारे शिवसैनिक सारे बीजेपी के ऑफिस तोड़ना चाहें, है ना, और इतना ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर दे।
Sanjay Gupta, एक तरफ what Abhishek Tripathi said that it was just a statement, that why was it blown out of proportion in this manner, and also Shiv Sena is responsible for law and order. ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है law and order बनाए रखना, और जिस तरह से ये गुंडागर्दी हो रही है, तोड़फोड़ हो रहा है, वायलेंस हो रहा है, कॉर्पोरेटर्स पीटे जा रहे हैं, ये सब आपकी भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है।
देखिए गार्गी राव जी, एक बात मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा कि शिवसेना के किसी भी नेता ने किसी भी तरह की कोई ऐसी स्टेटमेंट नहीं दी है कि किसी को ये उकसाया हुआ कि इस तरह की कोई कार्रवाई की जाए। ये तो कार्यकर्ताओं की भावनाएं होती हैं। अगर कोई भी पार्टी होती है उसके
संजय गुप्ता जी, आपके कार्यकर्ता कैमरे पे हैं, क्या आप उनको अरेस्ट करवाएंगे?
नहीं, एक मिनट मेरी बात पूरी होने दीजिए। आपने कितने अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को
वीडियो अगर आपको चाहिए, क्या आप उनको भी अरेस्ट करवाएंगे कि सिर्फ नारायण राणे जी को अरेस्ट कराएंगे?
खिलाफ भी कार्रवाई हो रही है।
जब योगी आदित्यनाथ मुंबई आए थे 2018 के उपचुनाव में, तो पालघर में उद्धव ठाकरे जी का वीडियो चल रहा है अभी कल से लेके आज तक कि चप्पलों से मारना चाहिए। तो क्या उनको अरेस्ट
उन्होंने? चाहिए एक अलग चीज होती है, एक होता है कि ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये अलग चीज है। और एक कोई कहे कि मैं ऐसा करूंगा तो ये डायरेक्ट अपराध की दृष्टि में आ जाता है, कॉग्निजेंस ऑफेंस में आ जाता है। ये अगर मैं ये कहूं कि आप ये गलत कर रहे हैं और आपके साथ ऐसा होना चाहिए, वो एक अलग बात हो जाती है। लेकिन मैं ये कहूं कि आपने गलत किया और मैं आपके कान पे तमाचा दूंगा, तो ये एक अलग बात हो जाती है, ये ऑफेंस हो जाता है। तो कानून की बारीकियों को और शब्दों की महत्वता को राजनीति में समझना जरूरी होता है। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कुछ भी शब्द कह देंगे तो उसके माने, एक शब्द ऐसा भी होता है कि कोई आदमी उसको बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता, और एक शब्द ऐसा भी होता है कि आदमी उसको हंस के निकल जाता है। तो ये तय तो वही करेगा जो सुनने वाला है, आप थोड़ी तय करेंगे।
तो आप ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि सुनने वाले ने ये तय किया कि हमें वायलेंस करना है, हमें तोड़फोड़ मचानी है, हमें कॉर्पोरेटरों को हाथ पैर तोड़ने हैं, ये आपने तय कर
वाले तो उद्धव साहब जब से गठबंधन से अलग हुए हैं तब से एक बार भी आपके खिलाफ किसी भी तरह की आपकी पार्टी के खिलाफ कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं दी। नीति के खिलाफ स्टेटमेंट देना हर राजनेता का काम होता है, लेकिन नेताओं के खिलाफ पर्सनली तौर पर स्टेटमेंट देना ये अलग बात होती है।
सुनिए, जब वो गठबंधन में थे हमारे साथ, तब भी संजय राउत जी और शिवसेना के लोग तब मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी पे अटैक करते थे, उनकी वाइफ तक को नहीं छोड़ा, उन पे भी अटैक करते थे, उनके बारे में शब्दों का प्रयोग हुआ है।
All right, I think we're just going to have to leave it there. Thank you both for joining us on the show, and hopefully we will not see any more violence and those kind of incidents breaking out, and some sort of investigation into what took place yesterday. These scenes of violence that were seen in Maharashtra. Thank you so much both for joining us on the program. Well, moving on to other news now, and 16 of the 78 evacuees who arrived from Afghanistan yesterday have tested positive for COVID, including the 3 Granthis who returned with 3 copies of the Guru Granth Sahib. Remember, Union Minister Hardeep Puri also came in contact with them, and all of them are asymptomatic. Now all 78 returnees have been quarantined. So there you can see those visuals from yesterday of the Union Minister coming in contact with the Granthis. Now remember, all of them had to be tested, but before that already this interaction took place. Now all of them have been tested, and 16 out of the 78 evacuees have tested positive for coronavirus. Let's go across to Saurabh Shukla now for more. And Saurabh, while this was a great photo opportunity for the Union Minister, now it seems it was not very well advised, because all the evacuees needed to be COVID tested, and now it turns out 16 of them are positive.
Gargi, a big, we can say, carelessness shown by the Union Cabinet Minister Hardeep Puri. He was there when the flight arrived yesterday around 10:30, and he carried Guru Granth Sahib on his head. That is totally okay, but he was in contact with the 3 Granthis who have arrived from that flight. In fact, the protocols were not followed. These Granthis were with the DGMC, Delhi Gurudwara Sikh Committee Chief of Delhi, Banjinder Singh Sirsa. They carried Guru Granth Sahib to the Gurudwara in Delhi. He was there, and several reporters, including officials, they were in contact with these 3 Granthis. Then later, according to the protocol of Health Ministry, whosoever is arriving from Afghanistan, they have to be tested first. Then they are being allowed out of airport. So when they were tested, out of 78, 16 were tested positive, and later last evening, Gargi, they all were quarantined in a quarantine center of Delhi. So as of now, most of them are asymptomatic. Health officials are monitoring their health, and Hardeep Puri is aware that he was in contact with COVID positive Granthis. So I hope that he is also taking care of himself, and he will follow the COVID protocols according to the Ministry of Health. All
right, Saurabh, thanks so much for joining us with all of those details. Now, the latest on Afghanistan, the G7 countries released a joint statement after they held an emergency virtual meeting. The statement reiterated that the safe evacuation of foreigners and Afghan partners remains the immediate priority. Leaders of G7 countries expressed grave concern about the situation in Afghanistan and called for calm and restraint to ensure the safety and security of vulnerable Afghan and international citizens and prevention of a humanitarian crisis. They also said that the Taliban will be held accountable for their actions on preventing terrorism, on human rights in particular, those of women, girls and minorities. Welcome back. The Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal faced the wrath of farmer unions at public rallies for a second consecutive day on Tuesday in his home district of Muktsar. As part of the pre-election campaign, which is scheduled for 100 days, he visited Gidar Baha, where he faced strong opposition from activists of the Samyukt Kisan Morcha. The former Deputy Chief Minister was scheduled to hold 9 public meetings, including one with the SKM leaders. However, farmer union activists demanded that the meeting between the SKM and Sukhbir Badal be held in the presence of the media, which they then refused. Well, let's go across to Ghazali. All right, we will get you more details, but Sukhbir Badal there facing protests in his own constituency. He had to cancel that meeting that was to take place with the SKM, that's the Samyukt Kisan Morcha, after they wanted it to be held on camera. Well, let's go across to Ghazali for more. And Ghazali, so farmer anger there being faced by Sukhbir Singh Badal.
Yeah, certainly. Interestingly, Akali Dal is the only party which has started its poll campaign with the party president visiting. He has started this campaign called Gal Punjab Di, or discussion or talks about Punjab's issues. And this 100-day trip started on 18th of August. But every day in every constituency now, farmers have started trailing him. They said that wherever he will go, we will track him, we will chase him, and we'll ask questions about his party's stand on farm laws and his stand on other issues of Punjab. So yesterday also, while he was in Muktsar district, which is his home district, in Gidar Baha assembly constituency, while visiting in one of the villages, SKM affiliated farmers, they sort of tried to meet him and ask him about issues. First, the farmers were promised that they will be allowed to meet Sukhbir. They waited there, but the party president Sukhbir Singh Badal never met them. That angered them, and certainly protests have erupted everywhere wherever he is visiting, because farmers have given a call to boycott every political party ahead of polls, because they don't want political parties to sort of fade their protest, which is going on in Delhi for the farm laws.
All right, Ghazali, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. Well, time for us to slip into a short break. More news on the other side. We'll also get you the latest on COVID and vaccines. Now for our special campaign, Vaccinate India, in partnership with Google, where we discuss questions that many of you have about COVID and about vaccines. And joining us to answer those questions, we have Dr. Padma Srivastav, Chief Neuroscience Center, AIIMS. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us. And one of the questions that people often look up, especially since the focus is now on the vaccines and getting other vaccines in our, kitty here in India, how do mRNA vaccines work?
Okay, so there is a whole lot of scientific information out there, but very simplistically put in, Dagi, is that mRNA are the protein factory machines. So what it does is, you heard of the spike protein, which is the culprit when the virus enters. So mRNA is going to produce a spike proteins indigenously within us, so that when the virus enters, we have enough antibodies already, so that the virus will not be able to damage us. So that is very simplistically put in, that is the scientific explanation, although there is a whole lot of equations how it goes about doing that. So it's going to simulate what the virus can do, and it will produce that kind of a defense mechanism within us, so that if the virus comes in, we are equipped, we can deal with it. it will not damage us.
And the efficacy of these vaccines is higher than those of other vaccines that use other technology.
Well, so it is said that yes, both Pfizer and Moderna, it's been published that the vaccine efficacy is over 90%. But then it's also been said that, don't look at 70%, 90%, 80%.
Sure.
Now, that's the where in the bench work. But when you're actually looking at a public rollout, I think any efficacy which is more than 70% is absolutely right. Because remember, this is the biggest weapon we have.
Right, and another question that people often look up is how long does it take to develop immunity after getting the vaccine?
So yes, so right now, predominantly it will be after the second dose, because except for the JJ, all the other vaccines, there is another dose. So don't think that you're absolutely immune after the first dose. You need to have that appropriate behavior very much there in your armamentarium. And even after the second dose, it takes about a couple of weeks. So all said and done, after the first dose, till 2 weeks after the second dose, you don't have a complete immune guarantee within the body. So you need to keep the entire precautions absolutely there, and even after vaccination. And you always said that, Gagi, on your show, that vaccine appropriate behavior is the another big vaccine that we have. Vaccine, number one. Appropriate behavior, number two. Will keep us safe.
Right, doctor. But one of the concerns that's also risen now is about, immunity waning. That's become a big focus now, especially when you have countries like the US and Israel talking about booster doses and even administering those booster doses to vulnerable populations. So this is, raised some amount of concern as to how long the immunity lasts after taking a vaccine.
Any of the infections that we've had and any of the, well-established vaccines that we have, we always have a booster dose. And that's true of our flu shots. Don't we take it every year? So the flu shots are given to those who are, those who are immunocompromised, so vulnerable population. So that saves the same. It is true even for our boosters right now. So it is true that it does wane, and it is definitely, it is not like, one-time vaccine. We do have that kind of smallpox vaccine or whatever, that, and it's going to lifelong last that immunity. Most of the other viruses, the respiratory viruses, have a booster dose built into the system to, so that the mechanism of protection carries on. So that may be true even for this. We're still on the learning curve, but it seems that booster dose is required. But at this point of time, Gagi, I think the booster doses have to be prioritized to those who are most vulnerable. That would be, again, those who are likely to have a very severe infection if they get the net. So, again, I'm coming back to the same thing. Before we get on to the booster dose, please get vaccinated. The first shot should go in, and then you talk about the
Absolutely.
booster dose.
That's right. The focus right now is on vaccinating as many people as we can. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's now get you the latest data that has been released by the Health Ministry. And India has reported 37,593 COVID cases in the last 24 hours. India has also reported 648 deaths due to COVID in the last 24 hours. Though all these deaths have not taken place in the last 24 hours, some of the data has come in from states like Maharashtra, in which they've added some deaths that went unreported earlier. So those deaths that have been added to the death tally. So therefore, 648 deaths being reported by the Union Health Ministry today, but not all these deaths took place in the last 24 hours. News now from UP, and a 24-year-old woman from eastern UP who had accused a BSP parliamentarian Atul Rai of rape in 2019 has died in a Delhi hospital a week after she and her male friend set themselves on fire outside the gates of the Supreme Court. She had alleged that the police in Varanasi, where she had filed the case, were colluding with the jailed MP and his relatives. Let's go across to Alok for more. And Alok, another case, emerging from Uttar Pradesh, where a woman alleges that she's not getting justice and taking such an extreme step, self-immolation, leading to her death.
Well, yes, absolutely. In fact, her friend, who had also set himself on fire along with her, he died on Saturday of burn injuries. The woman had suffered around 85% burns, while the man had suffered around 65% burns. Now, the case, or the origins of this case go back to 2019, when in May 2019, this woman had filed a case in a police station in Eastern UP's Varanasi, alleging that Atul Rai, the Bahujan Samaj Party MP, had raped her in 2018 when she had gone to his flat for some work. Now, the police had filed the case. Atul Rai responded for a month before surrendering in June 2019, and he has been in jail since then. And the case has gone on in a court in Prayagraj. Now, in November 2020, which is a year later, the brother of Atul Rai had filed a counter case against the woman and her male friend at a Varanasi police station again, where he accused her of forgery, of producing some fake age documents in the original rape case, etc. Now, since then, the woman alleged before her death that the police were hounding her and that they were trying to pressurize her and they were colluding with the MP and his relatives. In August, a court in Varanasi had issued a non-bailable warrant against the woman, because the police reportedly told the court that she was absconding and they needed to trace her and question her. After this, she and her male friend traveled to Delhi, and they did what they did in front of the Supreme Court of India. In fact, they did a live on a social media platform right before pouring combustible substance on them and setting themselves on fire, where they blamed the police, they named some officials, they blamed the police, and they said that, they did not hope for any justice because the powerful were involved. After that, right after this happened, two policemen at the police station, the investigating officer in the forgery case against the woman, the station house officer of that police station in Varanasi was suspended by the government. The police chief in Varanasi was removed, although no official reason was given, but this happened right after this incident took place. The police chief, the then police chief in Varanasi, he was posted in a different district, but he was removed from duty. And also, a special investigating team was set up by the UP government, comprising two very senior officers who have to report within 2 weeks about the facts and circumstances of the case. But as you point out, the moot point here is the fact that a powerful person involved and a woman who accused him of rape, taking her life by trying to immolate. It's a shocking story, and one hopes that at least now there will be speedy prosecution in the case.
All right, Alok, thanks so much for joining us with all those details and developments. Now, the crisis in Punjab and the demand for the removal of Captain Amrinder Singh from the post of Chief Minister has resurfaced after he targeted the advisors of Navjot Singh Sidhu over their comments on Pakistan and Kashmir. More than 30 MLAs of the Punjab Congress, including 4 ministers, have sought the removal of Captain Amrinder Singh, saying they will appeal to the party's top leadership again.
31 Punjab MLAs have demanded the Chief Minister to resign. These aren't the opposition MLAs but of his own party, including 4 ministers. The group is 41% of all Congress MLAs. They met at a minister's residence and demanded Amrinder Singh's resignation, as they said they had lost confidence and he had not fulfilled promises like cancelling a controversial power purchase agreement and no arrests in a sacrilege case, all pet peeves of his rival and new state Congress chief Navjot Sidhu. Elections are now just months away.
मेरी राय है, सबकी राय ये थे कुछ सीएम साहब को रिप्लेस होना चाहिए, नहीं तो कांग्रेस नहीं बचेगी।
तो सर कौन होगा सीएम फेस करें?
सोनिया गांधी साहब मिलने जा रहे हैं, इस विषय पे बात करेंगे।
The Chief Minister's camp said it had contacted the party's top leadership.
वो चार कुछ भी कहते रहे, Captain Amrinder Singh is still the most loved face in Punjab, and the entire Congress is with him, especially the High Command. What 5 studios or 5 ministers or 5 actors says doesn't make any difference.
The Chief Minister had criticized 2 of Sidhu's new aides for controversial statements. He met sugarcane farmers a day after Sidhu raised the issue. The Chief Minister has increased the state-agreed price and the farmers have lifted their road and rail blockade. But one of Sidhu's new appointees targeted the Chief Minister with this post, questioning him over a Pakistani friend of the Chief Minister, and he posted pictures questioning why the state's DGP was photographed with her. But the Captain Sidhu battle is far from settled, despite the intervention of the Gandhis themselves. With Mohammad Ghazali Usama Shab for NDTV.